Yeah, so I have to reformulate your question.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Oh.
You know.
Okay. So I'm Florian Noack, I'm a Belgian pianist, 33 years old. I'm teaching in the Liège Conservatory, I play concerts here and there, and I have a bit of a special repertoire made of many of my own transcriptions. The Miami International Piano Festival is, firstly, it was my first concert in the United States. And through Giselle Brodsky, I also got to know a lot of wonderful pianists who were extremely inspiring to me. So Yosu, Desolon, Francesco Libetta, Liapunov, and many more. So in a way, it's it was a concert series which grew up in a sort of little artistic family. Giselle is somebody who is extremely passionate and I think devoted to music, and her enthusiasm is really making things happen. So the Miami Piano Festival, I would say, is a festival which is really, how I see it, of course, as an external invited artist. I would say it's a festival which is based really on what we call in French coup de cœur, so a real interest, or more than that, for an artist. I would say regardless perhaps of a notion of fame or whether the person is bankable in the business terms, but so I would say it's really something born of a genuine enthusiasm for certain musicians. Well, as a recent, let's say relatively young teacher, I would say that what I'm trying to pass on is, of course, related to what were my own strong experience as a student. I think it's always tempting or easy to get into a certain way or style of playing, and I think what struck me the most as a student was when actually a teacher went against that, and instead of trying to make me play in a general, attractive or good way, was actually to really focus on every piece of music and see how individual, how different each of those were, to find a specific language for each of those. And I think this enhanced a lot my relationship to music also. Instead of hearing some Mozart, I was hearing that very specific piece from Mozart, which has a very different story from another one, perhaps. So I guess to try to create an individual and unique relationship with each piece, and not to find a general way of playing piano. I would say this is what I would try to pass on. So the two pieces I have just recorded are from Serge Liapunov, and Liapunov is a little bit of a unknown composer yet. So those are parts of, I would say, his main cycle, which has the 12 Transcendental Etudes. It's a cycle made in homage, composed in homage to Franz Liszt. And I discovered it quite young, actually, as I was 14, and immediately I was extremely seduced and attracted to this, because the music is stunning, it's incredibly well written for the piano, and that was already a teenager dream one day to record them. So that happened last year, or 2 years ago, that I did a complete recording of the 12 Etudes. And I would say that in those two pieces, what we have in common is a certain gentle way, I find, of exploring the piano and trying to find all the colors which it's capable of producing. And in that sense, I think it deserves the adjective of transcendental. It's really a music where the difficulty is transformed into some kind of poetry, which maybe would not have been possible without it. To prepare a piece mentally, I would say one needs, of course, to know it extremely well, to the point that one is capable of forgetting it. And letting the piece happen for the first time on stage. Like if our ears are completely virgin and we let ourselves be surprised by it, by every event somehow that happens. So, of course, it's a little bit of tricking oneself to know something extremely well and at the same time to try to forget it entirely. I mean, music is such a natural part of everyday life that I don't think of it as something very special. So in a way, I even cannot, I think I don't have enough distance to talk about it or to embrace what it is. I mean, for me, it's just like talking or any other things. So at the same time, the piano is a bit of a lame instrument in a way because we have so few parameters that we actually can handle. But it's also an instrument that I think by its very nature, we cannot really take it as an, how to say, as an end. We are forced to think beyond it, to try to imagine what the instrument cannot produce and to try to suggest it. So I think it's an instrument which, by its very limits, lends itself to suggest a lot of things. And I personally use it a little bit as an exploration toy because I write a lot of transcriptions and I never really take the piano so seriously, but I always use it as a means to suggest something else. Well, as an artist or as a pianist, I guess I have a few facilities maybe or some certain skills that work. And the difficulty is not to be trapped into this and to keep repeating yourself. I mean, not even repeating yourself, but I think probably the challenge is to be as diverse and as variable as all the languages and all the pieces that you have to speak. And maybe not just to be yourself, because ultimately this is much smaller than what we have to play.
We have a surprise.
What is it? Okay. Oh. And I have to play something on that? Great. Thank you.